Welcome to Unity of Tacoma, and my name is Stephan Plummer, and I want to start off with the song that I wrote years ago called Love, Om, Dream, Peace. What would Jesus say? Love, what would Buddha say? Om. Rumi says, see yourself in the mirror of me. Dr. King said, dream. Gandhi said, peace. The Tao says, you know the truth by looking inside. Inside. Love on. Dream peace. Love on. Dream peace. Love on. Dream peace. Love on. Dream peace by looking inside. By looking inside. What would Jesus say? Love, what would Buddha say? Om. Rumi says, see yourself in the mirror of me. Dr. King said, dream. Gandhi said, peace. The Tao says, you know the truth by looking inside. Inside. Love on. Dream peace. Love on. Dream peace. Love on. Dream peace. Love on. Dream peace by looking inside. By looking inside. By looking inside. By looking inside.
Thank you. That was Stephan Plummer. Let's give her another round of applause. Another, two. Thank you for being here, Stephan. This is Stephan Plummer. She's going to be our musician throughout the service today. And I'd like to welcome everyone here today to Unity of Tacoma. My name is Reverend Lori Erwin-Johnson, and I use the pronouns she and her. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad that you decided to join us. And if you've been here before, I'm so glad you decided to come back and be with us here today on this wonderful Sunday morning. And no matter what time of week you are, I mean, you could be on a Friday or you could be on a Wednesday. So whatever it is by divine appointment that you are here. And so I appreciate you being here. And again, Stephan Plummer. She just came back from Hawaii. I mean, not even 24 hours ago, maybe? Yeah, so she's gracing us with a wonderful, refreshed presence today as she's been on the island for a week. So thank you for being here and there.
And there, yeah. And here.
We begin our discussion today on the book by Deepak Chopra, Abundance, The Inner Path to Wealth. And we started a book series this week, which I thought was a lot of fun. And we talked a little bit about yoga and the science of consciousness. And so we're going to explore that today by looking through the lens of the 8 limbs of yoga, which is the handout that you received. For those of you online, you'll have it on the screen when I get to that point where we can, when I start talking about it, you can see that handout as well. So I'm looking forward to exploring that. But we're going to go into the prayer for protection. So if you know the words for the prayer for protection, please say them with me. For those of you online, you'll see them on the screen. For those of you here, you pretty much know it. So please say it with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And let's just take a breath, settle in. Open our hearts, open our minds, being available to the message that is being delivered today. We're aware that what we need to hear is important, and we need to apply that to our lives, where we're going to be going this week, and how we're going to move forward. Be open-minded. Be happy to receive new information and discern whether or not it speaks to you, because messages are for the right person at the right time. If you are here with us today, you are hearing this message. I'm so glad that you decided to join us today to hear all of that needs to be spoken, all the words that the divine is trying to share. And we're so grateful for each and every one of us. And so it is. Amen. And I'm going to have Stephan bring us into message with another song.
Okay. God is everything. God is all in all. God is so divine. Everlasting light. The sun that shines, the stars at night, and so much more, so much more, so much more. Every breath, every move, every tree, every bird, every sound and every word. The moon in the sky and the mountains up high, and you and I, you and I, you and I. I give God thanks for all my days. I'm glad for this time. I give God praise. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah. I give God praise. Give God praise. I give God praise. I give God praise. I give God praise. God is everything. God is all in all. God is so divine. Everlasting light. The sun that shines, the stars at night, and so much more, so much more, so much more.
Thank you. There is a story about Paramahansa Yogananda who would meditate so deeply that he would tell his assistant to whisper in my ear. That is the only way that they could get him out of trance. And when I hear that song, I just want to go into deep meditation and really just surrender to it. And so I was worried that if I just get into that space, she's going to have to come over and whisper in my ear, like, Paramahansa Yogananda, thank you so much. That was so beautiful and perfectly timed. And we were talking about it before the service, where we're going to put certain songs. And I thought the first one would be great in this position. She says, no, I think this way. And it's absolutely correct. You were right on. So thank you for putting it right there. So. Okay, now that I've gone past all of that and outside what I was supposed to be talking about, let's talk about our affirmation for today. The affirmation for today is, I listen for guidance as to what is mine to do. I live on purpose. So say it after me. I listen for guidance as to what is mine to do.
As to what is mine to do.
I live on purpose. And our reading for today is from the book Abundance, The Inner Path to Wealth by Deepak Chopra. And he says, to attain wealth of the lasting kind, the kind that gives your life meaning, value, and sustenance, base your daily existence on the generosity of spirit. Everything else you desire will follow of its own accord. Once you make the connection between consciousness and money, you have stepped onto the right path. Money isn't all the gold in Fort Knox or the dollar bills floating around in the pockets and purses. Money is a tool of consciousness. Therefore, your state of awareness determines how you see money, how you gain it, and how you use it. Consciousness is always in motion, and so is money. Consciousness motivates us to seek more out of life, and money follows this journey and eases the way if you have enough of it. If you shift your attitude away from money as the goal, but instead intend to get more out of life, you will have the support of consciousness. In yoga, this support comes from your dharma, which comes from the Sanskrit verb that means to uphold or support. If you are in your dharma, as it's usually phrased, abundance follows. If you are out of your dharma, you experience lack, and without the support of consciousness, nothing valuable can be achieved. As yoga sees it, consciousness is creative. It gives the mind's thoughts, feelings, inspirations, breakthroughs, and insights, those aha moments, and everything else that we value, including love, compassion, joy, and intelligence. The closer you are to that silent wellspring of consciousness inside of you, the more you will receive these benefits. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, these benefits got translated into the fits of merciful God, or providence. But yoga retained a focus on the self, not an outside divine power. By keeping the focus on the self, we are not merely higher primates, but the expression of the infinite pure consciousness. We exist to fulfill any creative possibility that we desire to pursue. There is no value judgment in yoga. It is the science of consciousness, not a set of moral values. Desire are all equal, and the instant they are born in our awareness, do we desire a good for us. However, it is our own personal responsibility to get it. And our spiritual lesson for today is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I have a really strange bucket list. And most people have a bucket list where they want to go traveling, or they want to see certain things, or maybe do fun things and exciting things, like maybe jumping out of an airplane or bungee jumping. I've never wanted to do that, but some people do. But my weird bucket list is meeting my favorite inspirational authors. It's very exciting. And I've really been able to tick off quite a long list, actually, of all those inspirational authors. I've already met John Dominic Crossan. You probably don't know any of these people. Amy Jill Levine, Diana Butler Bass, Marcus Borg, Eboo Patel, Robin Myers, Michael Dowd, and Brian McLaren. And also the Interfaith Amigos, if you've ever heard of them. They are here in the Northwest. I met them as well. But there is one person on my bucket list that I have not met yet, and I still have a really long list, so I'm not done yet. But one of those people is Deepak Chopra. I've had a couple of opportunities to see him in person for different books that he's traveled around promoting. But I never did get there. And so he is on my bucket list. I'm really excited to meet Deepak Chopra. The closest I ever got to Deepak Chopra was I was in a chat room with him, and I was able to give my opinion, and he responded. It was so exciting. So some of us nerd out about those things, and that is my bucket list. I want to meet Deepak Chopra, and sadly, I was not able to meet Wayne Dyer. And he was on my list as well. But, I was able to meet some very important people to me, and I'm really excited about that. And for those of you who don't know who Deepak Chopra is, has everybody read something by Deepak Chopra? He's just, he's everywhere. He's written so many things. Not only does he write nonfiction or self-help kind of books, but he's also written fiction novels. And so if you get an opportunity to read any of those are entertaining as well. And there's always a story behind it that's supportive of your mind-body connection. So Deepak Chopra, really, really awesome dude. And he's got a wonderful place in California. I would love to go to his retreat center, the Chopra Center. And just beautiful place right on the edge of the desert. And so really looks like a fun place. But I haven't been there yet either. So maybe on my bucket list, I can add going to the Chopra Center and then meeting Deepak Chopra there on accident. I had a friend who actually met him in the bathroom. I was like, that's interesting, and I don't know what cosmically that meant for you, but I'm glad that it would happen for you. It was a good experience. So, but Deepak Chopra, he always emphasizes the connection between the body, the mind, and the spirit. And he's always working for helping you obtain your well-being and abundance in your life. And one of his first books was The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And that's just a wonderful book. And it's still to this day, there are days when I go by. One of the things in that book he talks about when you hear the sirens of an ambulance or something of an emergency for someone else, to say a prayer for that person. I do it all the time. If I see a fire truck or something go by with the lights on, I know that someone needs my prayer, and so it's something that I do. And so that's something, he started that habit, and I've been doing it ever since. And that book came out, I don't want to say how long ago, but a really long time ago. But he talks a lot about inner abundance. Abundance is not necessarily money. And everyone thinks that accumulation of things and money is what abundance is. But he believes that it's beyond the material things that we have, and there is an inner abundance that we need to cultivate, that of love and joy and peace and personal fulfillment. And he suggests that practicing the various limbs of yoga would help us get to that space where we can cultivate that inner awareness, that open up that consciousness that he's talking about, and that connection with all creation. And everyone thinks that yoga is an exercise, but it's more than that. He also talks about consciousness and manifestation. He talks a lot about how you can, with your mind, and we teach this at Unity too, that with your mind and your consciousness and where you place your attention is where it is that you will cultivate your consciousness and bring that thing that you would like in your life to you. So let's say that you want health. then you concentrate on your health and you work on that and you move towards that direction, you place all your attention there and your faith, then you will bring that to you. Like attracts like. So when you are in that like-minded space of health or healing or whatever it is you would like, then that will be attracted to you. But you have to have faith and a positive mental attitude in order for you to stay into that space. So he says that meditation practices and focusing on our breath, things like using other yoga practices, can help us get to that space where we can get into that consciousness where we are attracting what it is we would like in our lives. And he also talks about yoga as a physical practice and how it also, in addition to connecting to the mind and body together, because that's what yoga does. How many people do practice yoga? I practice yoga. Yoga is a beautiful thing. It's the only exercise that I will say that I will do on a regular basis. I am not a cardio person. You know, a bear has to be chasing me in order for cardio to happen here. So, but yoga, I mean, yes, let's do yoga. So I love the exercises that yoga brings me and that balance that it creates in my body. And I often talk myself out of doing yoga, which is funny. I don't have time, or I don't have, I have so many things to do. But when I make it a priority, it becomes the balance. It creates my center, and I absolutely love it. One of the teachings he talks about not in this book per se, but he talks about in general, as Deepak Chopra talks about the law of pure potentiality. And we are pure consciousness. And so when we get into that state of pure consciousness through meditation, through breath work, through prayer, we are able to access that infinite connection with all things. We have that source connection. And when we do that, that is where we're eternal. We're unbound. We don't have any restrictions. We're open and we're responsive, and we're beyond the borders of our own selves and our own in the buildings we're in, and we're just expansive. So that's the law of pure potentiality. He also talks about the law of giving and receiving. Where do you hear that? Give and you shall receive. We hear that over and over, especially in Christian churches. Give and you will receive. Because once you give, then you're, again, putting that information, that energy out into the universe, that consciousness on that thing that you would like to receive, and then you receive it. It's a circulation. And so when you put your money out, or we put your thoughts or your ideas or whatever it is, that will come back to you. Hoarding it, keeping it, not sharing what you're thinking, not sharing your time, or you're not sharing your wealth with those people who need it, then you're hoarding it, and you're limiting the move and the flow of that energy. So allow that energy to move out. Be okay with, okay, I need this food, so I need to pay for it. Don't lament about what it is that you're paying. I do it all the time. This is why I'm saying food specifically. When you're at the grocery store and you're like, I don't want to pay $6 for a gallon of milk. But that's how it is. When you get out of that lack consciousness, because that's what that is, we're sitting in lack consciousness, then we're only drawing lack back to us. When you think, oh, I have availability of this wonderful gallon of milk, and it's blessing me with all the nutrients and all the things, and I am lucky to be able to have access to this, that's a different mindset. And that attracts, again, allows that circulation of positivity between that thing and what you would like. And he also talks about, in the book specifically, he talks about yoga. And yoga is a consciousness. It is not just an exercise. I love the asanas from yoga. I love to be able to do the exercise. But that's only one limb of 8 limbs of yoga. There are 8 aspects of yoga that we're going to talk about today. And that handout I showed you, this one right here, and Kamai, can you throw that up on the screen for me? Is this right here. And it starts with our morality, who we are, our ethics. And the 8 limbs of yoga, which is also called Ashtanga yoga, is a system of practice that was brought about by Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras over 2,000 years ago. And these limbs guide our path towards our own self-discovery, to be able to get into that space of pure consciousness. And each limb, and you can see there are numbers there, builds upon the next one. So you start off with 1, and then the next, and then the next, until you reach all 8. And so I'm going to give you a brief description of each of them, and you have that on the handout, but I'll talk to them about them a little bit more. The first one is yamas, or moral restraints. There are 5 of them. And they consist of kindness and truthfulness, non-stealing, which I think is an excellent way of saying things, non-stealing. Just be honest. Have integrity. Live life in moderation. Try not to be too extreme, because when you get into that extremity, you're wasting your energy on things that is not where you want your energy to be. If you're in moderation, you're able to conserve that and place the energy in the space that you would like. And generosity. Again, generosity is about the flow of allowing. When you're generous, then you're allowing generosity to come back to you. The second one is niyamas. Niyamas. They're the 5 observances. So you have purity and cleanliness both internally and externally. You have contentment and cultivating of gratitude. You have discipline or austerity, and you practice self-control. You do self-study. You spend time with yourself, learning about yourself. What is it that you believe? And you spend time studying about things that you're interested in. So you get to know that spiritual aspect of yourself. And then you have moderation. Did I say moderation? Moderation, yes, but you also have surrender. Surrender to a higher power. You need to make sure that you are aware that you are part of the larger whole. It's not just about you. So that's really important. That's the second limb of yoga. The third limb is the exercise portion. That's the asanas. That's when you get into specific poses. And those poses are designed to open up your chakras, to open up the energy centers in your body, to allow that energy to flow through you. And in a Western medical term, it stimulates the vagus nerve. And that nerve is very important to the stimulation of the parasympathetic nerve system. So when you're stressed out, do yoga, and that will calm your body down. So that's part of that. The asanas are all about well-being and getting you prepared for meditation and allowing that part of your life. The next one is pranayama, and that's mindful breathing or breath control. So there are lots of different breathing exercises, and we're going to go over a couple over the next couple of weeks to be able to introduce you to some of those practices, and they're very easy, but breath control is really important, because how many people notice when you're stressed out, you're breathing a little fast and really shallow? Yeah, you're going to hyperventilate, and that's how our brain works. That's how we start to get into that stress response. So by using breath control, you're able to stop your body from getting into that stress response. So we're going to go into some of that over the next couple of weeks. So number 4, pranayama is breath control. Pratyahara is the withdrawal of the senses. So turning inward, going from what is inspiring you or influencing you from the outside in the world to going within. What is it that you're experiencing inside? Withdraw from the senses. So try to keep from being distracted. This is where mindfulness comes in. You can use mindfulness with your senses to invite you to go into yourself. But once you're there, getting into the mindfulness of knowing where you are inside, not what's going on around you, because your true self is what's inside of you. The next one is dharana, which is concentration. How many people have trouble concentrating? I walk into a room. Now, I will leave my couch knowing I got to go find my glasses, which is usually why I'm up. I go into the next room, and then what am I here for? Every single time. It's because I am too busy thinking about something else when I should be looking for my glasses, or I'm just not thinking at all. And so concentration, working on concentration, being focused on what it is that you would, and that's where when we do meditation and we focus on our breath, that concentration on one thing, focus your mind on that one thing. And that is one-pointed, and it gets you ready for that deeper meditation. So not only can you start with yoga, then doing the asanas, and then you go into withdrawing from your senses. Then you start focusing and get focusing on one thing. Then you can go into deep meditation. So dhyana is a state of meditation where we become fully absorbed and focused. How many of you have been in meditation where you're fully absorbed, that you just don't care where you are in space and time, that this is exactly where you should be, this is your true self, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like coming home. That's that meditative state that he talks about in yoga. The final stage, which is number 8, is samadhi. And when you get into that deep, deep meditation, when you get into that space where you feel like you have no boundaries, you get into a space of samadhi, which is the ultimate goal of all 8 limbs of yoga. And it's that state of complete absorption, the complete unity with all things. When you get into that space, you get this unity thought process, this idea that you are connected to all things and you can feel it with your body. You can feel it with your mind. You don't even need a body to feel it. It's like you don't even need your senses to understand that. It's bliss. It's a liberation. It's a spiritual liberation of the body, mind, and spirit. So the 8 limbs are a comprehensive philosophy, if you will, of life, to be able to apply those so you get into this wonderful space of living from and for your consciousness. It is allowing you to transform, to take that journey, to be able to be more than you currently are aware of. That is always there for you. It's never not there. It's just your ability to concentrate and to make that your goal. He talks about the Dharma. The Dharma is your purpose. He said the Sanskrit verb that means to uphold and support, it is your purpose. Everyone has a Dharma, he says, or a purpose in life. By expressing our unique talents and using them to serve others, we will experience unlimited love, abundance, and true fulfillment in our lives. So when we use yoga, we get into that space of Dharma. We are finding and knowing our own true path. Not the path that we've been given or the path that we've been told about. This is what we are supposed to be doing. We are living our purpose. And if we stay within our Dharma, we will be supported in all of our endeavors. So we are constantly going into meditation. We're using these practices of yoga to make sure that we stay on in our Dharma, that we're continuing on our path towards samadhi or enlightenment. In the book, he says, our Dharma will support you if we aim to be happy and fulfilled. If we give of ourselves to others. If we make other people's success more important than our own. If we act out of love. If we have ideals and we live by them. We inspire ourselves as well as those around us. We are self-reliant. We listen and we learn. We expand all of our options. And we take responsibility for ourselves and our actions. We are very curious about exploring new experiences. We're open-minded. And we have acceptance, and we know our own worth. But Dharma can't help us if we are only looking out for number one. If we climb onto the back of others, we do dishonest things. If we blame others for our difficulty, if we're so desperate to get rich that that is the most important thing in our lives, that we put material success ahead of our own happiness, and we ignore the happiness and the ideas and the needs of others, people around us. We are certain that we're always right. We are dominant, and we like to control others. We ignore our stress levels, and we are loveless. We lack empathy and caring, and we take more than we give. And we are stubbornly closed-minded. So if we're anywhere in there, we are outside of the Dharma. We are outside of our purpose, and we need to get back on track. It's similar to what Unity teaches about Christ consciousness. If we are connected to our Christ consciousness, we are living our own truth. And when we're living our own truth, we're living our Dharma. And we live on purpose, and we have intention about what we're doing and what we would like to do with our lives. Not only can we live our authentic selves, but we also live in service to others. And that's the point of yoga. We care about what's happening to other people. We care about what they're going through. They are our brothers and sisters on this planet, and we are open to their own suffering. And we understand and we're empathetic and compassionate about their plight. Jesus emphasized this as well. Love your neighbor as yourself. Not just love your neighbor as you would like to be loved, but love your neighbor as if your neighbor was you, because you are connected to that individual as much as they are connected to you, like it or not. That person is you. Love that person as yourself. Know that you are connected, and with your love, you can become in sync. Ultimately, it's all about that. It's all about love. Finding our purpose and living love in this world. What if every person on this planet were to do that? Where would we be if we were all living in our Dharma? The Hindu tradition says that we are all one. We are all part of this Christ consciousness that we say here at Unity, and it connects us to every single person, every single thing on this entire planet and beyond. We are part of the same body of Christ. We are all seeking that pathway to heaven, to nirvana, or samadhi. We are looking for love and peace on this earth, and that is the point of yoga. It's a philosophy, it's a way of life, it's a way of applying that science of consciousness, he says, so we can get to where we want to be or where we are meant to be in this life. It's not just about creating material wealth in the book, and he'll go through that. It's about creating a holistic approach to life where you take the yoga principles of kindness and integrity and surrender into the source of oneness that's available to all of us. We promote that here at Unity, and I'm proud that we have been able to integrate that into our spirituality. And we see prosperity and abundance around us from that consciousness. And that is the way of the Dharma. And if you're interested, for those of you who are going to plug this a little bit, if you're interested in finding out more about this, you can join our book study, and then Victoria is going to give that information when we have our announcements here in a minute. We're going to go into meditation shortly, but first I'm going to have Stephan come up and do another song. And then we're going to do a different, well, maybe you were here the last time we did it, or maybe you watched online, but we're going to do Yoga Nidra meditation today. So, but first we're going to have Stephan come back with a song, and then we'll come back for meditation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Reverend Laurie. So this was off of my first CD, and Reverend Laurie requested it. So it's called On and On. And on and on and on. No, it's... We have fun running and laughing and playing. We are the dawning of a new day that's bringing life, and we're living on and on and on and on. Our lives, they go on and on and on and on, and life goes on. Where will we stand when changes are coming? I'll hold your hand, and together we'll share life, a new beginning. On and on and on and on, our lives, they go on and on and on and on, and life goes on. Life, a new beginning. On and on and on and on. Our lives, they go on. On and on and on and on. Life goes on. Life is forever as we're moving forward. The wheel of life's turning upward, eternal life, and we're living, sing it with me, on and on and on and on. Our lives, they go on and on and on and on, and life goes on. Yeah, yeah. Our lives, they go on.
Thank you. Oh, it's not too hard to go into meditation after that. Let's get into a space that feels comfortable for you. Take a breath. And we're going to go into what's called Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a sensory journey. So where this is the first step before going into focus and going within, withdrawing within. Yoga Nidra takes us away from the senses by starting us there. As you hear the different parts of the body that I will mention in Yoga Nidra, you want to repeat the name silently to yourself. Repeat that. So if I say hand, you say hand. Thumb, thumb. Say it to yourself silently, moving your awareness from one part of the body to the next. Keep yourself alert and focused as the sensation from each body part comes to you. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your right thumb. The first finger on your right hand. The second finger. The third finger. Your fourth finger. the palm of your hand, the back of your hand, moving up to your wrist, your forearm, your elbow, your upper arm, your right shoulder, under your arm, your chest, your waist, your hip, your thigh, your right knee, your calf, your right ankle, your right heel, the sole of your right foot, the top of your right foot, your big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and your little toe. Taking your awareness to the other side of your body, to your thumb on your left hand, your first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, palm of your hand, the back of your hand, your right wrist, your forearm, your elbow, the upper arm on the right. I'm on the left. I'm on the wrong side. Your left shoulder, under your left arm, your chest, your waist, your left hip and thigh, left knee, your calf, ankle, left heel, the sole of your foot, the top of your foot, your left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and your fifth toe. Move your awareness to the top of your head, your forehead, right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, right cheek, and the left cheek. Right eye, left eye, your third eye. Focus on the middle of your forehead. Focus on your nose, your lips, your chin, Focus on the middle of your chest and your heart. Moving to your abdomen, focusing there. Now place your attention on your entire spine from the bottom of your tailbone all the way up to the top of your head. Feel the crown of your head. And as the energy moves up your spine, it moves out the top of your head and expands. And you're no longer contained by this form. Your whole entire body is completely absorbed. Sit in that awareness for just a moment, knowing that you are the perfect reflection of the divine, part and connected to all things. Bless that beautiful body of yours. Send a blessing and love and kindness, no matter what struggles you may feel or things that you may experience. It is your body temple. And give it love, kindness, compassion for all that it does for us. And as we get to a point where we now are coming out of this meditation, pulling our awareness away from ourselves, back into this material space, feeling ourselves supported by the chairs and the floor. And when you're ready, you can take a breath. Exhale and open your eyes and bring your awareness back to this space. And thank you for taking that wonderful journey through your body and blessing it with every bit of love that you could. And Stephan is going to sing us another song before we go into our offering. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. That was one you picked.
I remember. Oh, gosh. So this is off my new CD, and it's about getting older. I remember when I was small, my mama took care of me, my daddy was tall. Life stretched before me like a slow-moving train. If I could do it all again, would I do it the same? Climbing trees and getting into fights, playing hooky from school and riding my bike. Waking up scared in the middle of the night, snuggled down with my sister in the covers real tight. We talked for hours about how good life will be when we're grown up and feeling free. Didn't understand all the struggle and pain. If I could do it all again, would I do it the same? The same. Roll on, they take their toll. My body's growing tired, yeah, I'm growing old. But my mind keeps on moving, wondering how it's gonna be for the next set of people growing old after me. Will your life be wasted? Will you squander your time? Will you get the things accomplished that will make your eyes shine? Can you learn how to love? Can you deal with your pain? Will you wish you did it different? Would you do it the same? The same.
I don't think I would do anything different. You know, all of the things that I struggled with in my life and all of the things I look at, I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't have all those experiences. So I don't think I would change a thing. Maybe a few things, you know. Some of the things like why did I choose that hairstyle, you know, that kind of thing. But other than that, those simple things, I think life overall is what it is. And I'm on my dharma, in my dharma is what they call that. And all right, we've got to the portion of our service where we open our hearts to give. All donations we receive here at Unity of Tacoma go to support the missions and ministries and the wonderful musicians that we have here each and every Sunday. And there are so many different ways to give. You can go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Unity of Tacoma to give via Facebook. You can go to our website at unityoftacoma.org/donate to give there, and that'll allow you to give via PayPal. You can donate using Zelle, using our telephone number, 253-576-3225, or you can mail a check to Unity of Tacoma, P.O. Box 112289, Tacoma, Washington 98411. And as we prepare to give, I would like just to get centered and to hold that prosperity just like you're holding it within your hand and allowing that to flow through you and as you. And Jesus said in Luke 6:38, give and you will receive. You'll be given much, pressed down, shaken together, running over, and it will spill into your lap. The way you give to others is the way God will give back to you. And as you visualize holding that gift within your hand and that abundance flowing through you and as you, repeat after me. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for my blessings today, and I am grateful in every way. And so it is. Amen. May the blessings that you give bring so many blessings back to you. I am so grateful for each and every one of you here and out there at Unity of Tacoma. And now I'm going to invite Victoria to come up, and she is going to read the wonderful announcements that we have coming up about the book study that I was talking about a little bit earlier. We meet on Thursdays, and she's going to explain that a little bit more. Thank you. Looks so pretty and blue and green today.
Thank you.
Come over this way. Got to stay in the shot.
Okay.
There we go.
Here we go. Our online book study started this past Thursday. We are studying Deepak Chopra's book, Abundance, The Inner Path to Wealth. We meet online via Zoom for 3 more Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30. And we're meeting every other week. The next meeting will be on July 20th, then August 3rd, and finally August 17th. If you're interested in being part of the book study, you can still join us by letting Reverend Lori know by email at lori@unityoftacoma.org, or you can tell her in person on Sundays if you're here. If you are following along in the book, please read parts 1 and 2 through page 78 before our next meeting on July 20th. But a little birdie told me that if we aren't able to read the book, it's okay. We should just come and we'll get a lot out of the class anyhow. And I have to say that I wasn't able to come this last Thursday, but a friend who did gave me some inside information, and I learned about this Dharma thing. And I didn't know about that before. And I really like it. And I think I've met her. And I'm pleased to meet her. When you get into your own Dharma, you somehow find that purpose. It like comes to you. It's like a secret whisper in your ear. So that's what's going on with that. So if you could read that through page 78 before our next meeting on July 20th, that would be great. Next week, we continue our discussion on the book, And our musical guests are Dallas Talley and Linda Small again, and we always welcome them back. Do I have any more time?
This much.
Just a teensy bit. You know I'm into colors. So when we just did that fantastic meditation thing, I want to say that I had my eyes closed, and I was sitting in a really relaxing chair, and I just let my body do what she was asking us to do. And as I went deeper and deeper, I realized through my closed eyes that I was seeing colors. And the colors make a pattern because, of course, in daylight, we can kind of see our veins in our eyelids. And so there's a pattern there. And then the colors were like swirling in blues and greens and purples. And I don't know if any of you watched the America's Got Talent, but there's the golden buzzer. And when the talent is really super duper, they hit the golden buzzer and golden flakes come out of the sky and bright lights. And at one point in the meditation, that happened in my mind and in my eyes, and it was just so cool. And then it went back to this flowing blues and greens and purples. So maybe you guys experienced that too. If not, maybe it's yet to come.
Thank you. Wow. That's awesome. I love those experiences. Thank you for sharing that. Our benediction for today is from Patanjali, who wrote the Yoga Sutras 2,000 years ago. Yes. And he said, when you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations, your conscious expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a great, new, and wonderful world. I hope as you go out into the world this week and you're able to take some of this information, that you start to expand and you do experience a new world. A world that's always been there, but you just had to recognize it. So, I'm going to invite Stephan back for our final song. If you would like to stand, you certainly can. The words will be on the screen for those of you who are online. And just sing out.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our center, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Have a wonderful day, everybody.